What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and Everton have lost 2-0 to Manchester City at home. It feels a bit bitter to take that one, if I'm being honest. Just ignore the banner. Got a 60th, my uncle's 60, so we're having a little fish and chip night here. But Everton today, for 75 minutes, I think we're the better team today. Yes, we give Manchester City the ball, and yes, they created a couple of chances, etc. But, all in all, I thought Everton hit the post. I thought we created the more chances. We were in the opposition's box a lot more than they was. And I just did think that we were the better team. As soon as Tarkowski goes down, though, I sort of think, you've got at the absolute best a championship centre-half coming on. He just creates absolute chaos. He creates absolute chaos. He's not commanding enough, and we start seeing Man City starting to dominate in the final third. I also thought the addition of Jeremy Doku caused O'Brien loads of problems just due to his pace. He takes off Harrison, which I actually think is a mistake, because I think Dwight McNeil is slower and can't keep up with Doku as much as I think Harrison would have. And I actually didn't think Harrison was having a bad game again. But that addition of Keane is a killer. It's an absolute killer. And I actually think I would have preferred to see Jake O'Brien go at centre-half and bring on Nathan Patterson, I think. But we are where we are. We just fell apart. Last 15 minutes we fell apart. The goals we conceded were pathetic. The first one's the worst, because Mikalenko gets done on the left-hand side. It's the first time I think he got done all game. I actually thought Mikalenko yet again played quite well, but he gets done on the left-hand side. Ball comes into the box, and if I'm being honest, and I've got to see it again, but it looks like Branthwaite doesn't put his foot out. And I don't know why. I don't know why he doesn't stop the cross. So I need to see if he could have stopped the cross. Pickford, I think, expects Branthwaite to get there, because he doesn't come out as far as he can. So he has to sort of lunge at it with his I think it's his right foot. And Branthwaite and Michael Keane just lets O'Reilly run in front of him. I mean, it's awful defending from all of them, all four of them, but the Branthwaite, I think, could clear the ball, and Michael Keane should not be letting their left back, or whatever position he plays, run in front of him. I thought it was awful. Awful, awful, awful. And the second goal was even worse. We just don't challenge in the middle of the park, and Kovacic scores by falling over and putting it in the bottom corner. It was disappointing, and it also, if I'm being honest, I thought the game changed as soon as Ndai come off. Brozier, although I didn't think Brozier had a good game today at all. But Beto did nothing when he come on. If anything, he actually made us considerably worse, because he looked like it was one of those games today where Beto looked like he was running in treacle, couldn't hold up his own body weight. He kept on getting beaten at the ball. He would take a touch and the City player would take it off his feet. He's just technically not good enough. So when you've got players like that coming onto the pitch, you're always going to struggle. And Beto, yeah, it was poor. Yeah, we just fell apart after them subs. And this is the frustrating thing for me, if I'm being honest, because I think Chermiti would be better. I do genuinely think Chermiti's got better feet. I think he's probably more composed, and yet he's not getting any game time. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. But apart from all of that, it's that Michael Keane substitution. I mean, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. When people were talking about Everton potentially challenging for Europe, if that is anywhere near our squad depth next season, we've got major problems in terms of challenging for anything, because that substitution today was appalling. I know it had to be made. I'm not saying it didn't have to be made, but it was appalling, and I think he should have moved Jake O'Brien. I think he's now learned that he should bring Jake O'Brien into the centre and bring on a right back. But yeah, it was a complete capitulation. Everton were in that game. I thought De Bruyne did very little. I mean, he looked. I actually said this to a group of friends last season. I said that De Bruyne was done. Today, he was a passenger. They didn't create any chances until Doku. Come on, nothing. Yeah, it's just frustrating. But then, what is it? 3 defeats in 14, is it? And the 3 defeats are Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Manchester City. I mean, I'm not going to be terribly upset about that. But the one thing I will say, and I think it's important to say this, is the last 2 games of this season are Southampton and Ipswich. Everton should win both of those games. Now, if you'd have said to me, even if Everton don't pick a point up away from home, which I think they will, but if they don't, that's still Everton finishing on 44 points. And bearing in mind, for a lot of this season, I was convinced we were going down. I'm not. I just want to get this season over with. And performances like that today, where it's the depth that has killed us. I just want the season to end. I want that rebuild job to start, because that Michael Keane substitution costs us. I think it feels like, whether it is or not, but it feels like every time he starts or plays, something bad happens. It just felt poor. It just felt poor. The other thing I want to say, and I think this is really important, is we need more quality just in the final third. Again, I felt like Jack Harrison played okay today, but he's certainly not a player that's going to take Everton challenging for Europe. Ndiaye is, obviously, but Beto, Decore, who we know is out of contract anyway. The other one, Rob, which people will probably disagree with me, but I've sort of stuck to my guns on this at this point, is I don't think we should be signing Alcaraz either. I just don't see what people see in him. I don't see it. If you can get Ndiaye for 14 million, I don't think we should be signing players like Alcaraz for 15. It just doesn't. I just can't compute it. Today he gets the ball, he carries it forward 10 yards, passes to a Man City player. It happened exactly the same at Forest last week. And if you're coming on to make a key moment, a key something, then I think you've got to do a better job. And we didn't. But look, that's not me just digging out Alcaraz and Beto and Keane. The team just couldn't get near City after them substitutions, and yeah, I think when you lose Tarkowski, as much as I think he does dive in, and you lose Garner, you lose that solidity. You lose that solidity in that team, and the team falls to mush. And look, I think it's just something. I think it's something that I think Moyes needed to see. As much as I obviously don't like losing, I think it's something Moyes needed to see, because he needed to see that this team can't cope when that happens. And he's got to find a different way of playing under those circumstances. In my opinion, there's absolutely no way you play Michael Keane. If Tarkowski's out, you can't play Michael Keane. You've got to play O'Brien in the middle with Patterson at right back, or any of the others. You've just got to. You cannot play Michael Keane. I thought James Garner did okay while he was on the pitch. Garner, he always, puts in a shift. But yeah, those substitutions. They were awful, and to be honest, the game was crap. I mean, it was just a poor game of football. The City had a couple of chances towards the end. Obviously, they scored two, and Everton. Look, we did have some chances. You know, we did create problems from corners and set pieces, but after 65, 70 minutes, we couldn't get any. So we couldn't create those problems. We couldn't create those moments. There was a couple of times, and again, you know, whether it's big six bias, whether it's just unlucky, I don't know. I feel like we go on about it every game, but there was a few fouls to down Everton players that weren't given. The ball went out of play from Doku, gives a corner. I mean, he's kicked the ball out of play. I mean, he's ran the ball out of play and he gives them a corner. I mean, it's pathetic, and it's just poor decisions. But irrespective of that, Everton couldn't keep the ball. We couldn't get up the pitch, and that last 15 minutes killed us. So look, we are where we are. We move on, onwards and upwards, Blues. I don't know who to give man of the match to. I actually probably give man of the match to Mikalenko, but I mean I don't know. So yeah, guys, I'll leave it there. That's how bad that game was. God's sake. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you soon, guys. Peace.